I'm Nicola Coughlin, and for BBC Radio 4, this is history's youngest heroes. Rebellion, risk, and the radical power of youth.
She thought, right, I'll just do it. She thought about others rather than herself.
12 stories of extraordinary young people from across history.
There's a real sense of urgency in them, that resistance has to be mounted, it has to be mounted now.
Follow history's youngest heroes wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Israel Gutierrez, and I'm hosting a new podcast, Dub Dynasty, the story of how the Golden State Warriors have dominated the NBA for over a decade.
The Golden State Warriors, once again, are NBA champions.
Today, the Warriors dynasty remains alive, in large part because of a scrawny 6'2" hooper who everyone seems to love.
For what Steph has done for the game, he's certainly on that Mount Rushmore.
Come revisit this magical Warriors ride. Listen to Dub Dynasty on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, I'm Brittany Martinez, a senior producer at Wonder Media Network, and I'm one of the co-curators for this month. I am so excited to be guest hosting this episode of Womanica. This month, we're talking about cultivators, women who nurtured, cross-pollinated, experimented, or went to great lengths to better understand and protect the natural world. Today, we're talking about a horticultural pioneer who not only hybridized countless flowers, but established a business that laid the foundation of California's seed industry, earning her the title of the Flower Wizard of California. Let's talk about Theodosia Burr Shepherd. Theodosia was born October 14, 1845, in southeastern Iowa. While little is known about her early life, one thing is clear: she battled chronic illness. She suffered from tuberculosis, or lung trouble, as it was called back then. Sometime in her early 20s, she met and married lawyer William Edgar Shepherd, and together they had 4 children. But as Theodosia's health worsened, the family decided to pack their bags and move to California, hoping that the new climate would ease her pain. In 1873, the family settled in Ventura, California, and the difference in scenery had Theodosia in awe. She had grown up in a landlocked state with prairie-like plains. Now, she was living on the coast, basking in the sunshine, wading in the ocean, and surrounded by a diverse community of flora and fauna. She soon took up gardening as a hobby. She began observing growing patterns, variation in flower from color to size, and more importantly, the phenomenon of cross-pollination. Though she was discovering this new world, the realities of her family situation were never far from her mind. With 4 children to feed and clothe, Theodosia knew she had to make something shake. That opportunity came in the winter of 1881. For Christmas, the children received a year's subscription to Harper's Young People magazine, and in the back pages was an exchange column. Here, people can advertise items to trade. One day, Theodosia noticed that the column was not just for kids. Adults were trading items too. And a thought struck her. What if she could trade her plants for things that they didn't have? Not waiting a moment more, Theodosia placed an ad offering to exchange California bulbs and seeds in exchange for small luxuries. The response was overwhelming. Novelties from the West Coast were in high demand for people out east. Suddenly, Theodosia was receiving letters for calla lily bulbs, smilax bulbs, and pampas plumes. Her stock sold out quickly. This success inspired her to reach out to other prominent seed sellers. She had studied their catalogs, marveling over the plants she hoped to one day grow herself. She reached out to Peter Henderson, a successful market gardener and seedsman. She believed he would appreciate what she had to offer. Carefully, Theodosia picked her best seeds, packaged them up, and sent them with a letter requesting seeds from his catalog in exchange. What she got back after several weeks was a generous helping of seeds and a note that read, "I am certain that California, before 50 years will have passed, will be the greatest seed and bulb growing country in the world. I advise you, if possible, to get in the business at once." Needless to say, she took that golden advice and cashed it in. First, she had to create a setup to house and grow more plants. Theodosia got creative. She used a hollowed-out piano box to control the growth of her seedlings. Her first seeds were sown in cigar boxes, and her plants grew in tin cans with the rims melted off. With the help of her husband, Theodosia acquired a loan to buy the 2 acres surrounding their house to expand their nursery, and she officially established the Theodosia Burr Shepherd Company, complete with her very own retail catalog. Theodosia was lauded as a hybridizer of blossoms and originator of new flowers. In her plants, she would search for unique standouts. Maybe one had a darker coloring or larger petals. Theodosia would then take a small brush, gently collecting the pollen from one of these flowers, and deposit it on the pistil of another. What bloomed the following season would be something new and glorious. Through this process, she was able to develop the striking heavenly blue morning glory and the iconic golden West California poppy. But her list goes on. She cultivated cosmos in an array of colors, even producing larger flowers with broader petals. She lovingly called them Mrs. Shepherd's Rainbow Cosmos, and the same treatment was given to poppies, petunias, and her personal favorite, begonias. This not only made her catalog sparkle, but also transformed her property into a floral wonderland. By the 1890s, she had multiple investors, her bulbs and seeds had reached Europe, and her flowers had made their way to the Chicago World's Fair. However, Theodosia wouldn't fully see the fruits of her labor. Despite her fame, financial success did not follow. In short, the family wasn't poor, but they also weren't rich. Then her health deteriorated. Soon, she could no longer tend to her garden, leaving the labor to her foreman and hired help. But true to her nature, she remained involved, writing articles about her hybridizing methods and advocating for women to take up gardening as a profession. Theodosia herself returned to the earth when she passed away on September 6, 1906. She was 60 years old. She once said, "I sometimes think that we do not always choose our work, but are chosen or called to it. It had always seemed to me that I was called into the field of flowers with a special mission for them, to grow and disseminate them. Where they are loved, to write about them, to talk about them, and, most of all, to create new varieties." All month, we're talking about cultivators. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Thanks to co-creators Jenny and Liz Kaplan for letting me guest host. Talk to you tomorrow.
I'm Nicola Coughlin, and for BBC Radio 4, this is history's youngest heroes. Rebellion, risk, and the radical power of youth.
She thought, right, I'll just do it. She thought about others rather than herself.
12 stories of extraordinary young people from across history.
There's a real sense of urgency in them, that resistance has to be mounted, it has to be mounted now.
Follow history's youngest heroes wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Israel Gutierrez, and I'm hosting a new podcast, Dub Dynasty, the story of how the Golden State Warriors have dominated the NBA for over a decade.
The Golden State Warriors, once again, are NBA champions.
Today, the Warriors dynasty remains alive, in large part because of a scrawny 6'2" hooper who everyone seems to love.
For what Steph has done for the game, he's certainly on that Mount Rushmore.
Come revisit this magical Warriors ride. Listen to Dub Dynasty on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.